So hello everyone, I welcome you all to the Concept YouTube channel. So today's topics are, first topic is related with women farmers, again a very important topic. Second is about the vaccine hesitancy. We will discuss about vaccine hesitancy as well. The question can be framed under GS paper 3 also, and it can also be framed in general. Next is about the amendment in patent rule, and next topic is about banana grid. This topic is related with GS paper 3 under section science, or we can say it is related with IPR, intellectual property rights. In the end, I will give you the mains question. So this session is presented by me. My name is Saurabh Pandey. If you are preparing for IAS examination, you can join Unacademy. From today onwards, many of batch courses are starting. So don't miss this session if you are preparing for 2021, 2022, 2023. My courses are also starting on current affairs. I am taking current affairs. The class is at 1:30 p.m. And in addition to The Hindu, different sources are being covered, including Down to Earth magazine or different newspaper, international journals. So this is a complete package of for current affairs. You have to take 1 year or 2 years subscription on daily basis. The current affair topics are covered, so it will help you to improve your knowledge, or we can say your understanding related with current issues and events. Similarly, agriculture optional starting from tomorrow, January 5 at 9:30 p.m. we are starting with paper 2. This is again a very important optional subject. You can use this code SP Live. Once you are using this code SP Live, the amount will reduce by 10%. You will be able to you will be able to see my courses. In addition, you will be able to see all the batch courses and courses by 80 plus top educators. So you can join it. To download the PDF of this session, you can visit Telegram channel SP Current Affairs. To send the answer which I give daily, you can send your answer in this Telegram channel, that is Daily Dose with S.Pandey. So let's start with the first topic. The first topic is India approves 2 COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. So if you talk about from exam point of view, you need to know about this term called as Covishield and Covaxin. If you talk about Covishield, it is a vaccine developed by Serum Institute, Pune based on AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. It has been given conditional approval. Now, the basic difference between the vaccine produced by AstraZeneca and Pfizer or Moderna, they are producing mRNA based vaccine. This mRNA based messenger RNA carries the genetic information relating with spike proteins which are present in the virus, and this S protein or spike protein is responsible for causing infection in human cells. So this protein related genetic information is transferred through mRNA based vaccine into human cells, and in human cells these proteins are produced, and against these proteins our body develops antibodies. So in future, if a body is infected by the virus and that virus carries that protein, so as we have the antibodies, so there is very less chances of infection. Second point is, which is again a drawback of vaccines produced by Pfizer or Moderna. The drawback is that these mRNA based vaccine, they need to be stored at a very low temperature. For the transport purpose and storage purpose, you require a very good infrastructure related with cold storage and for the preservation purpose. So this is the biggest challenge. But in case of AstraZeneca, they are using adenovirus. Adenovirus is used to transmit the genetic information related with S protein into our body, and which will again once this protein is produced in our body will produce the antibodies which will help us to protect from any future infection by SARS-CoV-2 or COVID or coronavirus. So this is important. When you talk about the efficiency of these vaccines, comparatively lower efficacy, it is around 70.4%. Next is about the COVID vaccine. It is developed by Bharat Biotech and Indian Council of Medical Research, and has been approved for the restricted emergency use in critical trial mode. So basic points related with Covishield or Covaxin, these basic points you need to know. And daily basis commentary is not required of each and everything what is happening with the vaccine. You all must be aware about it. Next is about this topic. From this article, there is this topic can be derived, and the topic is vaccine hesitancy. Vaccine hesitancy, very important topic. A question can be framed related with vaccine hesitancy in GS paper 3. When you talk about vaccine hesitancy, first of all, you need to understand that in case of vaccine hesitancy, there is availability of vaccine. It means it's not like there is a dearth of vaccine or there is scarcity of vaccine. Rather, you have this availability of vaccine. Once the vaccine is available, still people are not ready to take the vaccine, and this situation we call it as vaccine hesitancy. Why vaccine hesitancy? The basic reason behind the vaccine hesitancy is lack of awareness. Lack of awareness is a major reason. Certain superstition can be the reason. Certain misinformation or infodemic can also be the reason. There are many reasons for the vaccine hesitancy. So to avoid vaccine hesitancy, like take the case like in India, Indian government has set certain priority group: healthcare workers, people who are above 50 years, people who are suffering from comorbidities. All these will be given priorities in vaccination process. These will be given priorities in vaccination process. Now what happens? There is a case. If there is a case of vaccine hesitancy, people will be very reluctant to take the vaccine. For example, initially we have identified around 300 million people who will be given 600 million doses of vaccine. Now, if there is a case of vaccine hesitancy, if this vaccine hesitancy prevails, then different challenges will come. First challenge will be related with overcoming the misinformation and to generate awareness among the people. Better and effective communication strategy will be there. Better communication strategy need to be developed. So all these things need to be done in order to avoid vaccine hesitancy, which can be, we can say, can be a big hurdle in vaccine distribution policy. Next topic is anti-disclosure amendment that hits public health. This is related with GS paper 3. The question can be asked under intellectual property rights section. First, let's see the definition of patent. Patent is a form of intellectual property. Basically, if you try to understand the patent, what basically is the patent? Suppose if you have created, there is one research institute A, and it has carried out research and development for 2-3 years, and after 2-3 years it has created or formulated certain salts or medicines specific to certain disease. Now it will patent this salt or medicine so that commercial exploitation can be avoided, so that its making, using or selling can be excluded. The person once take the patent of a particular medicine or salt, then that person will have the legal right, and he can also exclude other from making, using or selling an invention without the permission or the consent of the parent company or the company which has the patent of a medicine or salt. There can be no commercial use by the other company. In order to utilize this patent norm, like we can say, in exchange to this facility, the company or the research institute which took the patent, it has to publish an enabling public disclosure of the invention, means certain information related with the invention, so that in future that salt content or the formula can be utilized by others for the benefit of the public. Central government recently published Patent Rules 2020. It had amended the format of the statement that patentees and licensees are required to annually submit to the patent office disclosing. The basic point that we have to understand regarding this is the Patent Amendment Rules 2020. Earlier, what was there? Like, if you take the patent for a medicine, so if you are taking the patent, then certain disclosure need to be made, or the statement statement need to be made, or the information need to be provided relating with certain things like how far that medicine has commercially worked, how the patented invention available to the public in the country. So all these information need to be given. So if this compulsion is taken out, then there is a possibility that the company or the institution which has the patent may only focus on commercial aspect. Those who can afford it will provide that medicine to such people only. So this Patent Amendment Rule 2020 has been criticized in this context. There is a concept called compulsory licensing. Under compulsory licensing, if a country or the government feels that a particular medicine is required for a larger public interest, then the government can ask the other companies to produce a generic drugs relating to a particular drug. Suppose this drug A is used against cancer, and after the branding its cost is around 1000 per dose, which is very high. Everyone cannot use it, but because of the branding and marketing, we can say the price is so high. But in general, if you talk about this medicine, the cost can be as low as rupees 20. So the government, if the cost is so high of this drug, so the government can ask the other company to produce or to formulate the generic version of this drug, whose cost will be comparatively lesser, like rupees 20, so that the poor can also use this medicine and the problem or the disease can be avoided. So to ensure the compulsory licensing, it is also required that the company who takes the patent need to put the disclosures as it used to do. So the amendment has significantly diluted disclosure format. It could hamper the effectiveness of compulsory licensing regime in the country, and it can also be such steps can be a hurdle in front of the accessibility of important inventions or the life-saving medicines. It simply means because of certain changes, or because of this step as per which the company need not to disclose the information related with the salt content or certain other research related work, then it can impact the compulsory licensing part, and it can also reduce the accessibility of life-saving medicine, overall impacting the public health in India. So once a patent is done, it is for 20 years. So in exchange of 20-year patent monopoly granted to the inventor, India's patent law impose the duty on patentee to commercially work the invention in India to ensure that its benefit reaches to the public. So even the monopoly is allowed for a particular company for 20 years, but in return certain steps need to be taken by that company so that the benefits could reach to the public. Failure of this duty could trigger compulsory licensing or even subsequent revocation of the patent under the Patent Act 1970. The disclosure in general, we can say, is made in Form 27 as prescribed under the Patent Rule 2003. So under Patent Rule 2003, this Form 27 format, all the details are given to help the patent office potential competitors to determine whether the patentee has worked the invention in India, means whether the invention for which the patent has been provided, the company has carried out certain steps so that the benefit could reach to the public at the reasonable price. So all these things you need to understand. Next is related with the women farmers. Again, a very important topic related with the women farmers. So MS Swaminathan once said that if you try to understand the evolution of society in India, and in the evolution of the society, agriculture which ensured food security to the people, in emergence of agriculture, women has an important role. Means women has created the agriculture in general. It is said, like earlier, men used to go out for hunting purpose or in search for food. In that period of time, women used to gather seeds from native plants, and they start growing those plants, and slowly agricultural crops were grown, and these agricultural crops were produced, which resulted into many of the agricultural activities. So according to the agricultural census, 73.2% of rural women are engaged in farming activities. These facts are very important. Only 12.8% own land holding. Because of the cultural, social, religious forces, this is very important, because in India, urban-centric development, because of the urban-centric development, men migrated from rural areas to urban areas. Earlier, many people, or we can say a large workforce, engaged in agricultural activities, and due to the migration of men from rural to urban area, there is this case of feminization of agriculture. There is this case of feminization of agriculture. Only 12.8% own land holdings. This is also said. Although in agricultural activities, around 73.2% rural women are engaged. But once you talk about the land holding or the ownership with the women, it is very less. This is basically due to many of the social, religious and cultural factors. The Indian Human Development Survey reports that 83% of agricultural land in the country is inherited by the male members. This is because of the certain social norms and constraints which are prevalent in our society. Only less than 2% of their female counterpart, they have the land only. Rest maximum lands are with the men. 81% of the women agricultural labor, they belong to SC, ST and other backward classes. So it is said that women also need recognition. If woman is recognized as a farmer, then she can also exercise its rights, or many of the benefits it can also derive, such as loan for cultivation, loan waivers, crop insurance subsidies, or even compensation to their families when they commit suicide. As the Mahila Kisan Adhikar Manch has also highlighted that there is a improper accessibility to land rights over the land. Once you talk about the women faces gender disparity. They have less ownership of land, and this disparity is visible in certain different areas related with agriculture. For example, storage facilities, transport cost, they are not able to access all these things. There is a dearth of resources. We can say there are very limited resources related with storage facility, transport cost, cash for new investment, or paying off all dues, or agricultural credit. All these problems are faced by the women farmers. But the question can also be framed that whether we can divide the rural society or the family who is engaged in agricultural activity as men farmer, women farmer, children farmer. It can't be done, because when you talk about the women farmer also, they are also part of a family, and all the family members, they participate in the agricultural activity. So identifying the women farmers separately within the family will be a challenging task for the government itself. So the benefits which are there for agricultural activity, that benefit need to percolate to the farming family, and maybe it's very difficult to direct the benefits only to the women farmers. So this is again a very challenging task. So women farmers, we can say women farmers fear that the farmer law will deepen gender inequality. They are saying that if MSP is not mentioned or mentioned in these farm bills, earlier also, if you talk about minimum support price, it has never been a law, rather it is just a policy. So why there is a demand for MSP to be a law is a question need to be asked. Second is about the negotiation. If there is a contract farming, an agreement is signed between the farmers and the company, there is a possibility that the company can exploit the farmers. This is the other fear. It is also said that farmer will have very less bargaining power if there is a corporatization of agriculture. The small marginal farmers, they will be forced to sell their land to big agro businesses, and they have to become a wage laborer. So all these problems exist, but the question arises whether we want to transform the life of small and marginal farmers or not, or else the benefit of agriculture activities is only enshrined, or we can say is only percolated or transferred to the middlemen, Arhatias, and the big farmers. So we need to ensure that the benefit of agriculture is actually utilized by the farmers also, mainly the small and marginal farmers. Also for that purpose, certain institutional reforms need to be made. Take the case of USA. If 2% workforce of USA is engaged in agriculture activities, even then also every 4 years you have a separate law. In case of India, around 42% of our workforce is engaged in agriculture sector. Still we don't have that kind of laws, because we also keep on changing the law so that the present conditions can be satisfied or the present challenges can be met. Certain institutional reforms are required. For that purpose, certain steps need to be taken by the government itself. Next is about the banana grit. Banana grit is a kind of ingredient created by using, I think, banana. New product called banana grit or granules. It can be used as an ingredient for a healthy diet. It has been developed by National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. Press the subscribe button and bell icon to get the notification of this session. Let's see the question in the end. The cultural and social and religious forces have impacted the empowerment of women farmers. You have to write it down. You have to send your answer by 5:30 p.m. if you want your answer to be included under answer writing championship. The session will be at 10 p.m. I will announce the best answer, and let's see whose answer is best. Keep writing. All the best, and ensure that you are doing revision on continuous basis. And I'm very much hopeful that you will be a part of agriculture optional. If you complete your optional before prelims, or like by 2022, if you are preparing for 2022 or 2023, if you have the command on optional, it is of a great advantage. And agriculture opens, we can say agriculture also opens opportunity for you in Indian Forest Service exam as well. Use the code SP Live to join. Visit unacademy.com. The link is given in description box. then click then select UPSC CSE and go for optional, and take the subscription of 1 year for the optional category, and then you can be a part of this course. So thank you everyone. I request you all, don't forget to like the session, share the session. Thank you everyone, and let's crack it.